I've always been a big person. I struggled with my weight since my childhood.
At the age of 14, I was about 200 pounds.
I had this personal trainer that was not very nice. They would tell me if I wanted friends, I needed to lose weight, that no one would ever love me if I'm fat. They would weigh me, so I would make myself puke before every session so that I weighed less on the scale. That really messed with me as a kid. I did lose weight. I probably lost over 100 pounds, and I was 200, 250, but it didn't solve any of my problems.
And I was still unhappy, even though I had the body everybody always wanted.
Diet culture really bothers me. Fat people are not portrayed well in the media. We're taught that being fat is bad, and movies were always the best friend or the brunt of the joke. The internet is not a good place to talk about that because people hate fat people. The whole problem of body positivity is not just how the world views you and like how you view yourself. It's about fighting for people not being discriminated in the workplace, in fashion, in anywhere, because we're treated as second-class citizens, and that everyone's main goal in life is to be skinny.
That's just wrong because plus-size people shouldn't be ignored.
Just because you're thin doesn't mean you're better than me. Moving your body is important, but it doesn't have to be about losing weight. It can just be about feeling good.
I am an unapologetic fat girl.
I am who I am, and you can take it or leave it because I'm always going to be happy with myself.
Abby, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. Brooke, welcome.
Thank you for having
And
me.
say hi to Robin.
Hi, Robin. How are you? Nice to see you. Hi, Abby.
Abby, you're saying how you feel about yourself shouldn't be a function of your body type, body size, whatever. And you don't disagree with that one bit, correct?
I champion that. I celebrate your point of view. I think it's very powerful.
And you say you've always been bigger, but at one point you did lose 100 pounds.
I did lose weight, but you know, it was through extreme dieting, through extreme weight loss, exercising, through calorie counting, and I didn't get to live life as a normal kid because I was stressed hanging out with friends because I was worried that we were going to eat something that I couldn't eat. My entire life was surrounded around weight loss, and it really developed an unhealthy relationship with not only exercising. I was afraid of exercise because I thought it was a punishment, and I was afraid of eating.
I've said many, many times, and I'll say again today, body image and self-image vary together. They shouldn't, but generally they do.
That's right.
Why do you feel people don't talk about obesity enough?
I think there's a lot of shame related to it. We might as well get this out on the table now, although it's still painful for my family. I lost my brother this summer, my younger brother. He died of obesity in his late 40s, died in his sleep, had no pre-existing medical conditions. My family is still not talking about it. It's a very delicate dance for me, considering the space that I'm in. It shouldn't have happened. It's very sad. It's very painful. So I'm personally committed to it. I'm personally dealing with it, healing, growing, trying to find the right words and the right narrative to help people and honor my family and respect their privacy. But I'm living that right now. And there's an element of denial, shame, and just not knowing how to navigate that, not knowing how to talk to the younger children in our family about the steps that we can take to try to be better, to try to get better, to try to avoid that. It's scary.
And how much of this, doctor, is a genetic predisposition?
The understanding currently is that it's more to do with environmental triggers, the food environment, physical activity, even things like air pollution and chemical contaminants in the environment that are endocrine disruptors and promote obesity. So genetic factors are very, actually, small contribution overall.
And when we do talk about genetic contribution, for the most part, that talks about who can be obese, not who will be obese,
Yes,
correct?
That's right. So we have genes that can predispose us. It's not like having a gene for curly hair or brown eyes. It's
You had to bring up hair, didn't you? Just had to go there.
Sorry about that.
Everyone talks about romanticizing your life. But that can be really hard to do as a plus-size person when you're never portrayed as the main character. We're told that our bodies are wrong, that our stretch marks and rolls are unattractive, when in reality, they're what make us unique. So we need to be our own main characters. We need to find the beauty in life's smallest things. We need to find the beauty in ourselves, because we're only given one body, and life's too short to spend it.
My entire life, I've been what would be considered obese. Today, I weigh almost 500 pounds. I feel like I'm a prisoner inside my own body. I worked as a counselor for about 7 years before I got laid off. I feel like the irony in all this is that I spent years trying to help other people out, and my life is now spiraling out of control. At this point, I'm basically disabled because of my weight. I can't hardly walk. I can go about 10 steps and then my legs just give out. I have to use a wheelchair. I've not been able to work. Doing just basic things like bathing and cooking, cleaning the house, everything has to be done in an altered way. Most of my life, I'm confined to my bed. It's the only place where I can sit in a position that's comfortable, that doesn't cause pain. Psychologically, there are lots of issues. I'm depressed. I'm anxious all the time. When I see myself, I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I feel like I live on the edge, one fall, and that could just be over, or I could just have a heart attack at any minute. If I don't get immediate help, I feel like I will be dead, but there's just no other way around it.
Jenny, it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
How did you get from where you were to where you are now?
At some point, I just gave up. I used to be a lot like you. You know, I said, hey, I'm a big girl. If you don't like it, don't look. You know, I did things. I had a normal life for a while, and then one day, oh, I can't step over the lip of the bathtub, you know? So I have to find another way to do that normal thing. And one day I can't go up the stairs. It's just slowly, things just started going away until there was nothing left. And then the bigger I got, the worse the mental health got, because you can't do anything and you're stuck.
And, you know, right now it's clear with Jenny, because I've read every word that you've said that we've asked you about, you get so far from where you want to be that it looks insurmountable. It's like, I'm so far gone now, there's no way I can ever get back. And you just give up, which I'm going to convince you is not true, but this is part of what you deal with.
Hi, Jenny. So nice to meet you. I also studied everything that you submitted, and what touched me the most, besides my personal commitment to this and what broke my heart, is when you said you don't feel human anymore. And you are so worthy of going through these changes and getting your sense of self back for your daughter, for yourself. Everything is possible. It can start right now, today. This is about living for you. And to find a lifestyle, like Dr. Phil said, a lifestyle that's achievable.
But I also think it's important that we don't paint overweight people as these pathetic cases that need to be fixed, and that you can't live life and that you're miserable. Because I don't feel miserable. I can do everything else my friends can do, okay? And we think that fat people, we're lazy, we shove our faces with hamburgers. But I know plenty of skinny friends that don't eat well. I eat better than them. I exercise better than them. But they won the genetic lottery, and they can get away with that. But because I can't, me as a human is questioned of my values and how important I am as a human. So I think it's important that we also talk about that too, is that we're not something that needs to be fixed.
Well, I think that is being talked about. And you say, I'm not miserable. She is.
And I totally
You can't
get that.
turn
I'm
a deaf ear
sorry.
to that because you're defensive about people saying that about you. You have to be empathetic with her because she is that way right now. And because you aren't doesn't mean you turn a deaf ear to her. Say, I'm not miserable. She is.
And I totally
You
get
can't
that.
turn
I'm
a deaf ear
sorry.
to that because you're defensive about people saying that about you. You have to be empathetic with her because she is that way right now. And because you aren't doesn't mean you turn a deaf ear to her.
And the thing is that the body positive movement and myself, we're not against people losing weight, of course. That's not it at all. But the problem that we're not addressing is that right now our current culture treats exercise as a weight loss and not as something to feel good about yourself. And it feels good to move. And we're not talking about how toxic the diet industry is too. I mean, like, I think in 2019, it was a $78 billion industry. And 95% of diets fail. So it's not that it's as easy as just going on a diet when we have an industry that has been designed to make you fail to get more money out of your pocket.
Well, it's worse than that. People that go on a diet during the year, by the end of the year, will have gained more weight than people that never even went on a diet.
Exactly.
You're exactly right. It is a toxic situation. It has to be a lifestyle. And I think that's what you're talking about, is a lifestyle. All hour long, we've been talking about the psychology of obesity, which is a chronic illness that develops over time. How old were you when you were first put on a diet?
Probably like 10.
See, that's just
And I have a very distinct memory of my family went skiing, and I didn't want to wear snow pants because I thought I looked fat. An 8 or 10-year-old should not be thinking about that. They should be thinking about experiencing life and experiencing snowboarding, but I was so afraid of how others perceived me.
Yeah. Joining us from her home in West Virginia is Jenny's mom, Sherry. Sherry, we were just talking with a man about going on a diet at a young age. In looking back, do you see things in Jenny's childhood that you think sensitized her to being hypervigilant about this in a way that's contributed to her obesity today?
Oh, yeah. I was an overweight child myself, so I didn't want Jenny to go through that at all. So, yes, at a very young age, I did start to limit her food. And I know now that that doesn't work. It didn't work with me. It didn't work with Jenny. I still don't know how to help her.
Did you feel hypersensitized to it at a young age?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Like she was saying, you remember about I can remember us shopping and I was going to be in a 6X, which is about a 5 or 6-year-old. And, you know, the comments, oh, you're getting so big. You went up too, and that could have just been that because I was only 6, but I didn't take it that way.
Jenny says in the past 6 months, she has lost 25 pounds, but needs to lose 100 to qualify for weight loss surgery. Now, last month, Jenny says she fell off of her diet and has been scared to step back on the scale until today. Well, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you are.
Right now, I'm feeling nervous about getting weighed. Not sure how I've done in the last month. The last time I weighed myself was a month or so ago, and it was 476. I have no idea how much I weigh right now. I just weighed myself. I don't know what the weight was. I want Dr. Phil to tell me that and see how I'm doing. I'm hoping that Dr. Phil can help. I feel like this is my last chance for help. I've tried everything on my own and nothing's working, so hopefully this will be it.
Well, Jenny weighed 476 pounds in November of 2021, and your fear is that you've ballooned up, right? Well, you haven't. You've lost 4 pounds since then.
Oh.
So you've held the line.
Okay.
And it's really not about that number. It's about, are you doing anything in an organized, sustained way to have a return to health? And the answer is no, because like you said, you've just kind of given up. And Brooke has a sustained strategy, a sustained plan that is lifestyle oriented. It's not a diet, it's embracing a lifestyle with a support system where you can make changes that accumulate across time. And she's passionate about reaching out and helping you if you're willing to lean into it and do the hard work.
I'm ready.
Is that something you want to do?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're ready? I would like to help you to develop small, immediate goals I'd like to help you develop personal promises and encourage you to help find your faith that you can keep those promises because you're worthy, and we can do it.
Have you had a better offer lately?
No.
I suspect not. You'll keep us posted,
I
right?
will. I sure will.
All right.
When body positivity
I am an unapologetic fat girl.
becomes dangerous,
I had to lose weight or I was gonna die.
and Brooke Burke's personal battle.
We might as well get this out on the table now, although it's still painful.
New Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.